How are you?
Well, we are doing great.
How's the constituency?
So far so good. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And how are you finding Parliament? You've been in there for a few months now, close to 1 year.
Well, we just resumed for the last session of the year.
Okay.
So I would say that much hasn't happened, except the fact when I came here last, you asked me the same question.
Yeah.
And my opinion hasn't changed. Parliament is a great institution that molds leaders. It shapes the character of people. Like you indicated earlier, that Speaker has now issued a directive that if you don't participate in plenary sessions, you'll be blacklisted or even lose your seat. So for that reason, it's also a platform to mold character of people. So the attitude that you attach to your workplace, Parliament is a good place for you to learn. Then the second thing is that it exposes you to the real issues confronting the country. Because that is the platform where the people representatives are. So every shape, cranny, and every part of this country is well represented in Parliament. So for that reason, I would say that it gives us opportunity to really understand the direction of the country, either through the statements we make, through the budget presentation, and updates from the ministries. So I would say that it's a good platform. And for us as MPs from the Northern region, it's also a platform to reach out to your people, especially through filing of questions and also making statements that will inure to the benefit of your people. So it's a great platform.
I realize that when you're talking about the absenteeism issue, you said not taking part in plenary sessions.
Yes.
Explain that.
Okay, so what it means is that, you see, Parliament is not just the chamber. It is Parliament chamber and the precincts of Parliament. So you may be in Parliament, but not in the plenary. For example, if you are having committee sittings, all members of the two caucuses who are members of, let's say, Public Accounts Committee, yesterday they were sitting. At that same time, MPs were called to come to the plenary for debate and other things. So at that time, you are in the presence of Parliament, but you are not in plenary. So in the votes and proceedings of the day, if you don't rush back to the chamber to sign that you are here, it will capture you as absent. Meanwhile, committee sittings are also like plenary sittings. And that's why committees of Parliament have the power of High Court, because it also takes the form of Parliament. So what Speaker was actually referring to was the fact that plenary sessions, because that is what the Ghanaian people see. Apart from the local government committee that recently just started inviting DCs and all those things, and Public Accounts Committee, all other committees do their meetings in camera. So people don't get to see what we do. So he's advising us that all committee meetings should be shifted to the morning, because plenary starts at 2 p.m. So that by the time it is 2 p.m., you had exhausted all your committee meetings or members of Parliament who are in government. By that time, from 10 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., you might have done all your daily engagements with the rest of the Ghanaian public and then move straight to chamber for government business.
So it's just possible that you have all members of Parliament within the precincts of Parliament, but you still have
the chamber not living up to expectation. And it is also because of the scheduling, poor scheduling. That's what I said. Because yesterday, for example, there were 6 committee sittings.
6 committee sittings?
Yes. You know, this is the period of budgets. So the Public Interest Committee, Finance Committee, Assurance, and all those, and people have brought bills, referrals have been made to committees. You know, when the bill is read, Speaker will refer it to a select committee to deal with it. So we should have shifted all committee meetings till the morning. But they will take the meetings at maybe say 1 p.m. or 12 midnight. They won't finish before 2 p.m. So when you don't finish,
you don't get to
the chamber
early enough.
So if you don't do that, the view out there doesn't speak good of us. Because, for example, in all the committees, NDC have the majority. In all the committees. So when we have more committees, it means that majority of our members are rather out of the chamber. So it may suggest that we are not taking the people of Ghana seriously. Because what they will see is the chamber and not the committees.
Chamber, yes.
You get it? Meanwhile, the committee work is as important as the plenary.
I see.
So yes, the directive now is that all committee meetings should be held between 10 to 1. Whatever you want to do it between 10 and 1.
Okay.
So if it is 2 p.m., you are supposed to come to Parliament.
Okay. I guess you yourself must be learning a lot.
Yeah. Fortunately, since I joined Parliament, I've missed only twice.
Okay.
And that one, I wasn't even in the country.
Okay.
But it is not even classified as missed because once you sought permission, if you look at our votes and proceedings, you'll be captured as absent with permission.
Okay.
So that is not even classified as absent. Yeah.
Well, and let's turn to your government. It seems things are going well thus far. In fact, at some point in time, even when people started complaining that the city was sleeping, it has still not gone past 13. It was still within 12. That is a very strong performance considering the recent history of the Ghana city.
Yeah.
What is the government getting right?
Well, I will say that this question was answered simply by the IMF at their fourth review, which alluded to the fact that they are commending government for structural reforms commitment. Why are we saying that? If you look at the total expenditure volumes of 2024, government overspent by 18%. Yet, it did not translate into growth. When you are spending more in an economy, you expect growth to expand because you are spending it on critical sectors. Is that not the point?
Yes.
And Ghana uses the expenditure approach. We just add our consumption, our investments, and government spending. So the more government spends, means that the gene will increase. And if it increases, your growth increases. However, the overexpenditure by 18% did not translate into growth. So that is why they call it a jobless growth, because the growth doesn't trickle down to the people. The current finance ministry has adopted a strategy that is very good, expenditure rationalization. This is what they do. Releases are only made to critical sectors of the economy.
Only to critical?
Yes, because first of all, we are under an IMF program. In fact, the IMF program normally comes with austerity measures. This government came with so much goodwill, and we could not sit and allow the people of Ghana to suffer further. So what did they do? For the first time in many years, you see that district developments, municipal developments, and metropolitan developments are in the local hands, local government service. In my municipality, for example, the total releases that we have received from the Ministry of Finance for 2 quarters in a year is 11 million Ghana cedis.
11 million?
Yes, in Sagnarigu municipality.
I see.
Yes. Now, take it this way. In 2024, the total amount we received from the government for 4 quarters was 924,000 Ghana cedis.
For all the 4 quarters?
All the 4 quarters came to 924,000.
Less than a million?
Less than a million. In our situation, for 2 quarters, we had 11 million Ghana cedis.
Wow.
Now, the government didn't just dump the 11 million. There was a policy rationalization that says that 80% of the total amount that is set up for GACF must be sent directly into the MMD's accounts. Now, it went there with KPIs. What did we say? For the monies that are coming to you, at the end of the day, we are targeting any district. The minimum they should get is 22 million Ghana cedis. For the 4 quarters.
For the 4 quarters,
So we are saying that you must construct a 24-hour market. So it means that all the districts in Ghana, by the end of this year, might have started construction of 24-hour markets.
A 24-hour market?
Yes. Every district will have a market that does not sleep, because the world doesn't sleep.
A market that does not sleep?
Meaning that trade and business activities will continue going on for 24 hours in a day.
And I'll come to that.
Yes. So let's move. And then we are saying that construct a KG. Construct a primary school. Construct a JSS. Handle your own sanitation. As part of the money that we are releasing, a large chunk of it is meant to improve sanitation in our various districts. And then construction of borehole, mechanized boreholes, and many other expenditure lines. This is the commitment we have with the MMDCs.
Okay. So the money is going there, but they are supposed to use it for
something.
Okay.
Unlike previously, money was not going, and decentralization came into being because we believe that development should be local.
Okay.
In the previous administration, when the 5% of DACF is released, less than 20% gets to the districts, and then the abuse procurement processes at the DACF Secretariat in Accra.
Oh.
So you see that expenditure in 2024 will be high, but where does it go? One, there is over-concentration of development priorities, because if the money sits at one secretariat, your district may not even come to their mind.
Yeah.
So you see that even their development targets will be targeting only centralized cities or metropolitans.
Even though the money is supposed to go to you.
By law, it's supposed to go to the districts. By operation of the law, they kept it at a central place, and they now determine the priorities of the government. This time, your destiny is in your own hands, but you have been given key priorities. The second also issue I want to talk about is people underestimate the size of gold. And that ties into this whole idea of the Cedi at 60.
Okay.
If you look at the evolution of currencies, we came through a barter period. Musa Mansa, you heard of Musa Mansa.
Yeah.
At that time, they wanted to move from barter to now paper.
Okay.
And the number one thing that they used to back every currency in the world at that time was gold.
Okay.
You know why? Gold is an ostentatious good. It is a good that is always in high demand.
Okay.
So if you tailor your Cedi or any currency in gold, you are not using the paper as a medium of exchange, but you are taking it as consideration for the gold.
Okay.
That is why the United States dollar, the pound sterling, and the euro do not fall apart, because they are looking at the gold volumes.
The volumes of
the gold. So if you pick 200 pounds like this, you are not using the paper. It's not the paper you are using. You are using what it is backed with.
Okay. So the pound is stronger because its backing is gold. Okay.
But ignorantly in our parts of the country, they will say that the economy is doing well because of gold. That's ignorance. In fact, in Japan, they even tailored their currency with oil.
Japan?
Yes. They will buy the oil. Then they now measure the rate at which the oil is traded, and it will influence the Japanese yen.
I see.
However, recent market developments in the last 20 years has revealed that oil prices fluctuate more than any other natural commodity.
Okay.
So if you subject your currency to oil, you realize that you always be losing through exchange losses.
Okay. And explains Japan's recent struggles. Okay.
Now, that was a lesson for us as Ghana to learn. And that is why NPP started this goal for oil. And we said that it was not sustainable.
What was your own stance on it? Why do you agree it was not sustainable?
You see, the problem across has always been that there's more demand for dollars than supply.
Okay.
Now,
more demands for dollars than supply.
Okay. Now, you said that you want to go and use your gold, which is traded in dollars. Okay. And you are saying that the people should sell the gold to you in dollars, then you go and use it to get oil. Where's the relevance of the Cedi in this case? So the Cedi was not a medium of exchange. Because the same gold that the traders do not sell it to you in Ghana cedis as at that time.
Yeah.
Because they look at the market prices. And this is a very classical, perfect competition market where price of things are very known to everybody. Gold, oil, and those things, nobody can cheat you.
Yeah.
You Google type of the current rate
will tell
of
you
those will tell you.
Yeah.
So if I am a gold miner, then I have my gold. I know the world market, it is sold at this. You, government, cannot come and tell me that you will buy it at this. So where is the relevance of the Cedi in this equation? Okay. That is why the Gold Board now says that all gold within this country is traded in cedis.
Okay.
So it means that governments of Ghana will use Cedi to buy the gold from you, and we will now exchange it for our dollar.
Okay.
And that's why the reserve build-up in Bank of Ghana is high. And that's how come there's stability in our currency. Because at this stage, nobody or government is not looking for dollars to buy gold. Government is using cedis to go into the market, buy the gold, and that's why Gold Board is the only mandated body to assay and sell gold. And how do they buy it? They buy it in cedis from the small-scale miners and the large companies. So we buy it. If you like cocoa, you cannot export cocoa without cocoa board, can you?
No.
Now gold too, you cannot export gold without gold
Without
board.
a gold board.
And the gold board will not buy it from you in dollars. So the demand for dollars is low. Okay. In the previous administration, gold miners were still selling it to government in dollars.
Okay.
And then government will now use the dollars to go and get crude. Okay. Now, we are buying it in cedis, then we are selling it to the market in dollars. And then we use the dollars to show up our reserves.
See, what place does this idea of usually keeping gold reserves, what place does it have in this kind of strategy?
Okay, so the purpose of gold reserves, I told you that every money should be backed by gold.
Okay.
Our recent study has revealed that gold is a natural resources that can easily protect your currency. Why?
Okay.
Ghana is an emerging market,
okay.
So we can never say that we will not go back to the external market.
Okay.
Also, they are maturing debt.
Mm-hmm.
Debt that NDC we came to meet will be maturing.
Okay.
And you can only pay your external debt in dollars. Mm-hmm. Because if the debt was dollar rated, you can't pay it in cedis, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Now we are saying that build up your gold reserve such that it's a store of value.
Okay.
I told you that gold is a store of value because it doesn't really depreciate.
Yeah.
If it is oil, that one, you know how it happens.
Yes.
But the gold, people use gold as a store of value. So we keep our gold. When maturing debt external comes, then we convert the gold into the currency of exchange and use it to pay our debt.
Mm. So two things you're doing. You're taking control of the sales of gold.
And then we are using it also to maintain stability of our currency. So let's say, example, if MPP had borrowed maybe $100 million and its maturity is this year, how do we pay $100 million?
Okay.
If we have an equivalent in gold, we just go into the market, sell the gold of the 100 million, and then we'll use it to buy. In that instance, we are not using the cedi to chase for anything. Mm-hmm. What causes cedi to fall is when there is demand for dollars more than it is supplied.
So, how long do you anticipate that this kind of situation will be able to hold up the cedi?
So, for as long as NDC is a government,
okay.
And I'll tell you why. One is because the incentives offered by the Gold Board is good.
Okay.
Also, President Mahama, through the 24-hour economy, is trying to diversify the country.
Okay.
I have always argued that it is not enough to manage the country with only gold.
Okay.
Because it's a finite resources.
Okay. It will run out at some point.
Run out.
Yeah.
So whilst you are trying to build your economy anchored on gold, you must try as much as possible to also leverage on other emerging resources.
Okay.
Lithium and other places have been discovered, iron ore and all those things. We must begin investing in other alternative resources that will guarantee the future of this country.
Okay.
So, but not in immediate. If you go to Upper East, it's full of gold. Yes. But we didn't know. But anything that is finite means that you should be thinking of alternative when the time comes.
Okay.
The second is prudence.
Okay.
Minister Atu Forson should not be pressured.
Okay. Okay.
We are getting all these results because of fiscal pragmatism, because of lack of fiscal recklessness. We are not reckless. So it is not us. When you are spending money into areas, it must translate in income generation.
Okay.
So we don't want to just spend. If you remember, when we were doing the mid-year review, NPP did a press conference and said government is not spending.
Yes.
Government had a program expenditure for the whole year at 206 billion. And half a year, government had already spent 109 billion, over 53%. They say they were not spending. Why were they saying that? Because they know that they inflated contract sums in road sector, and they wanted government to spend money in paying those contractors at that alarming rate.
Okay.
So you will not see expenditure because it is not coming to them.
Oh, okay.
But we know the expenditures were targeted at the districts.
Okay.
For the first time, go to Get Fund. Get Fund has advertised close to 300 projects this year alone.
300.
Over 300.
So it means there's more money.
More money.
Okay.
Why? All because of the uncapping policy.
Okay.
These people use Get Fund, proceeds from Get Fund, and did the Alignment Act, Recapping Alignment Act, where they cap statutory inflows from Get Fund and NHIL. What did they use it for? They use those inflows as collateral to borrow more into the future.
I recall that.
So when the government now came, Dr. Tuforson has absorbed all those SOEs debts as a central government debt. So Get Fund debt, NHIA, ESLA, and all those institutions, Cocoa Board, we have absorbed it as a central government debt. And then we have freed the money to go to them directly. That is the good part of this government. So spending within our means and raising more revenue without necessarily increasing taxes. That's what I was saying.
So prudence, because I recall at the height of the crisis we faced, one of the things people kept telling the former administration was there was a need to be prudent.
Yeah, simple. Because we saw that you cannot be doing over expenditure by 19%. Yes, of course, election year, I don't have problem with trying to win an election.
Okay.
But you don't award multi-year commitments in an election year.
Okay.
Multi-year simple means what? Any expenditure whose inflows or outflows, the money you pay to the people, exceeds beyond 1 year.
Okay.
It's a multi-year investment.
Okay.
You don't know the outcome of the election.
The election, okay.
You don't decide the direction of the incoming government. So that is why President Mahama has taken it bull by the horn. Within first year, you are seeing that he's rolling out his manifesto promises. And that's why I heard him recently. He said they have a manifesto dashboard where they are able to track
the
performances of his government. When you are able to do that, in your last year in administration, you should be showing the results of the decision you have taken now and next year. So that Ghanaians will see the fruit of your work. But you don't start something in 2024. When will they see the fruit of it? After you are gone? So they were just spending. Oh, let's win the election at all costs. I remember when this issue of the drip machines came, at the various districts, 1 month to election, they were everywhere doing cosmetics road improvement programs just to win votes. If this government had not been changed, the MPP government, we wouldn't have heard anything. But the good thing is that, let me just quote what the IMF just said about the Dr. Tuforson success. Ghana, with the IMF 36-month extended credit facility, has achieved macroeconomic stability, fiscal consolidation, and structural reform. The country has made progress. For example, the fourth review of our arrangement was completed in July 2025, unlocking about $367 million US. The report shows that Ghana is on track to exit the IMF program in May 2026. What this simple says is that when we were under the extended credit facility in 2015-2016, you remember?
Yes.
When the MPP came to office, they extended the IMF program by how many years? 1 year. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I recall vividly.
Yes. But in this case, the IMF is already predicting Ghana is on track to exit the program in May 2026. In the last 8 years of the MPP that they ruled, it was only 2 years that they were not under IMF program.
Okay.
Only 2 years in 8 years. The country was always being managed by external support. Despite ballooning our public debt in terms of external credit facilities, we couldn't go to the Eurobond market because we borrowed. The appetite for borrowing was so high that no investor was willing to lend looking at the risk levels. And that's why sometimes Ghana was even borrowing at above 9% in the external market. Because why? People must compensate for the risk they are taking. And the way investors compensate is by increasing the risk premium. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Now, government is on track to exit the program in May 2026. What does it mean? It simply means that, brother, there will be credibility restored back to the country. Government of Ghana can now even do proper concessionary negotiations with external creditors. IMF program guarantees credibility. Do you know when we signed on to the program and when we came, we stick with the provisions of the program? You saw that Fitch reviewed the outlook on us. S&P reviewed their outlook on us. Moody's reviewed their outlook on us. And this guarantees investor confidence. And that's why in the first half of the year, $792 million came into this country because of investor confidence.
I see. Ultimately, and I'll come to the IMF, what you do with that credibility that the IMF will help you get. But you said throughout the MPP's administration was only 2 years.
2 years they managed the economy by themselves.
Which year and which year?
You see, they came in 2017.
Okay.
They extended the IMF program and it ended in 2019, if you remember.
Yes, I recall.
Mid-2019.
Okay.
So 2019, let's say it was their own year.
Okay.
And 2020. 2021, we went back again.
So they managed for only 2 years.
2 years, 2019, 2020.
So you're suggesting that all the damage that we see were done in 2 years?
In 2 years. Observe this. You had a primary balance in 2019 at 6%.
Yeah, and explain the primary
Simple
balance.
Means that what you export
Okay.
is higher than what you import.
Okay.
That's simple about primary balance.
Yeah.
In 2020, it moved to negative 29%.
When you had a positive in 2019.
Because they allowed businesses to import, give a lot of tax incentives for election 2020.
Okay.
And that's why the deficit rose to 13% in 2020.
Okay.
In fact, they moved our debt position in 2019. You know, we handed 122 to them. In 2019, it was hovering around 278 billion Ghana cedis. From 2020, it moved to 634 billion.
Okay.
By the time they left, so in 2020, 634 billion. You write it, 634 billion. 2020. From that time to they handed over, our debt only increased to 763 billion.
Okay.
So ask yourself these questions now. If 2020 to 2024, you move from 634 to 63. Meanwhile, in 2017, you took the debt at 120 billion Ghana cedis. Is that not what we handed over? Mm-hmm. So it means that in the first 4 years of the Akufo-Addo administration, they increased the debt by 500 billion Ghana cedis. And in the second half, they only increased the debt by 180 billion Ghana cedis. So that is why I said that a lot of the mess happened in 2019, 2020.
2019, 2020. And that's a lesson you have to learn because...
Yes! It was all because of the election. You know, we thought that the COVID is true.
Yeah.
COVID came with a lot of associated problems. It's true.
Okay.
But like they said, if you have underlying conditions, you easily get infested and you could risk your life.
Okay.
Is that not what they told us?
Yes, that was a message that came with COVID.
So what it simply means is that countries that suffered already had what? Situations or underlying difficulties with our country. And that's how come Togo, Benin, and other countries survive COVID with higher macroeconomic data, higher primary balance, better inflation, and better stability of their currencies than Ghana. What it simply means that Ghana already had our own underlying difficulties.
Okay.
So it is not enough to just say it's COVID, because you in Africa, when you are comparing, you use the purchasing power parity. You itemize all our economic activities within the African sub-region and contextualize in a single currency called the dollar. Okay. When you do that, you see that Ghana was not performing as compared to Cote d'Ivoire, as compared to Nigeria and other countries. Yet they had more deaths than us. So COVID was a blessing to Ghana. And I'll tell you why. If you sum up the external support plus the seed money we took from the stabilization fund to deal with COVID, we got 30.3 billion Ghana cedis. 30.3. In fact, IMF gave us $1 billion, another $1 billion. Bank of Ghana, World Bank gave us $428 million, and Stabilization Fund, they took $280 million. Is that not what happened?
Yes.
In fact, we even had to set up a COVID fund. The one Madam Joyce was, you remember that thing?
Yeah, the one that the private companies were supposed to
exactly.
Yeah.
So Ghana raised a total of 30.3 billion Ghana cedis to deal with COVID. We actually spent, if you look at the 2022 financial statement of the Ministry of Finance, they said we only spent 17 billion.
Out of the 30.3?
Yes. So if you have a problem that will cost you 17 billion, and you had 30.3 billion, is it a lesson? Is it a blessing or a crime?
Well, that's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
You have a lot more money.
So anybody that tells you that COVID made us to slow in growth does not understand economics. Because if you understand economics, you realize that Ghana made a net gain of almost about 21 billion Ghana cedis.
A net gain?
A net gain. If you are adding the domestic one we took, it means that if you had 30.3, you spend 17. It's not 13 that is left.
Yeah.
Domestically, we raised 6 billion to deal with COVID. All was because of election. Look at even the staggering amount they mentioned as to the feeding that they did in Greater Accra and Kumasi. Look at the amount they mentioned. 28 million Ghana cedis.
You're thinking that all this money went into winning an election.
Winning an election and inflating their pocket. Look, currently they are building a case at the Attorney General for COVID expenditure. You'll be marveled. You will be marveled. And so for me, that it's a lesson to this current government that posterity will not favor you if you're on the wrong side of the law. We must not repeat things that we criticize. We must be people of integrity and principle. Ghanaian people gave us an overwhelming mandate to reset this country. And President Mahama is committed to that. But it should tell all appointees that when you find foul of the law, it doesn't matter how many years, you will still come back to answer. On that note, I am positive that the current trajectory that we are going, President Mahama will stand as one of the most successful presidents, having not to think of the next election. And if you observe the way he's ruling the country, you know that this man is on the slope of making history. And all the indicators have showed that we are on track. And Dr. Tuforson, let me commend him also. Having worked as a deputy finance minister, at least in the first President Mahama administration, he might have learned a lot. And perhaps that has occasioned this pragmatism that we are seeing. So you hear people always complain, they are not releasing funds, they are not releasing funds. No, we cannot behave like the MPP to just be doling out.
You are not in their position.
Exactly. So we are not the same. And we want to, look, when we exit IMF, Ghana can now take our destiny in our own hands. For right now, we have signed an external credit pact with somebody who is always monitoring our behavior. So if that didn't happen, you have ceded your sovereignty to decide for yourself.
And I'll come to that particular part. What you just said. But before that, let me just remind my listeners that the Hisense AC promo is back. Enjoy more discount on already discounted prices. Hisense is bringing you unbeatable combination of durability, comfort, and value that only Hisense delivers. From durable copper pipes built for long-lasting performance to 4-in-1 filters for a clean, fresh breeze, gold-plated fins for extra durability, and whisper quiet operation that keeps your home perfectly cool. Even the remote control reflects the exceptional quality of Hisense. That's why we are the only brand confident enough to give you a 5-year manufacturer defect warranty, unmatched in the industry, tested under Ghana's strict quality control standards. The Hisense R290AC stands tall as the best on the market from 18th October to 28th October. Enjoy heavily discounted prices on Hisense AC models, whether you prefer split units, floor standing models, inverter, or standard options. We've got exactly what you need, all backed by a trusted 5-year manufacturer defect warranty. Don't miss this opportunity. Step into the Hisense showroom nationwide and experience cooling like never before. For further inquiries, call 0302 550000. Hisense everyday prices for everyday people. You can find our showrooms, Hacho, Afienya, Mataiko, Kumasi, Tano. So are some of the places you can find Hisense showrooms at. And also don't forget that HR Residence and HR Lounge, if you're looking for a fully furnished 1 and 2 bedroom apartment, speak to HR Residences today. HR Residences apartments are impeccably maintained for both short and long-term stays. Every unit feels like it was designed for royalty or perhaps a precedent when it comes to HR Residences. And it also comes with the HR Lounge, because when it's time to unwind, you need a place you can step into. At HR Lounge, you get to savor mouth-watering grills, gourmet local delicacies, and live band performances every weekend. And don't miss their karaoke nights. An experience so fun you want to come back every weekend. So for a perfect blend of comfort, taste, and entertainment, HR Resident and HR Lounge delivers emotional satisfaction worth every cedi. You can find them on Dansoman High Street. For bookings and enquiries, call 0593 867 086. HR Residence and HR Lounge, simply class redefined. Well, our guest in studio is Honorable Atta Issah. He is Member of Parliament for Sagnarigu. And I was coming to the IMF matter because when you are done in about mid-2026, IMF would have let you have to take your matters into your own hands. Yeah. Now, for you, I know you're not in government, but you're a member of the government because you are a member of Parliament and also a member of the National Democratic Congress.
The ruling government.
Yes. So, exactly what will be done, or what do you think should be done to avoid finding yourself in the same place where the MPP has found themselves, where they borrowed so much, they realized they were in a big hole? What should be done to avoid that kind of, or is it avoidable at all?
No, very avoidable. So, in fact, history should guide us.
Okay.
I think this is about the 7th time that Ghana has signed up onto their program.
Okay.
So we cannot keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
Okay.
So if you leave an IMF program, what it simply means is that what were they telling you that you yourself cannot do?
Okay.
Because IMF always implement homegrown solutions. Okay. So IMF doesn't come to you with their own program.
Okay.
They ask you to draw a program, then they keep you to their own promise.
Okay.
So must we always wait for somebody to hold a cane on our heads before we respect our own economic policy decisions?
Okay.
So I think, first of all, we need to continue with the fiscal consolidation effort we are currently doing.
Okay.
It means that we must always remain to spend within our means.
Okay.
I don't understand why you are signing a multi-year contract this year at $900 million.
Okay.
Its fruits will bear in 4 years' time. You don't stagger the construction. You release $1 million, $900 million to the contractor without any work being done. That will not happen under an IMF program. That's why they always tell you to do commitment accounting.
Okay.
Tell us year one what you expect to expend from it, and it will be based on key milestones.
Okay.
You don't just dash out money to party people. Even if you are giving it to a party person, you must stagger the payment such that it is for payment of work done.
Okay.
That is what an IMF administration will not tolerate. But if the sovereignty reverses back to us, you will find something like that. In the previous administration, we saw it. This year, they are still auditing award of road contracts last year. They are still auditing as we speak. So it is not the fact that Ghana does not have money. A small country like Ghana raises 269 billion Ghana cedis. Expenditure from how? So we must continue with the fiscal consolidation effort that we are currently doing. Look, you must be projecting to recover back to part of the, let's say, consistent growth. So we should not do isolated growth. You see, this year we are expecting to grow at 4. World Bank is saying we can do at 4.5. Then we are happy. Next year we don't care what they will say again. No, we must have a sustained growth. If you have a sustained growth, it gives you ample time to diversify your economy. Because you know that any decision that you are taking is to expand the economy.
Will the decisions that have been taken deliver that sustained growth?
Yes, it will. That's what I'm saying, that fiscal consolidation is the basic, and debt management. Look, Ghana's problem started in 2020.
2020?
Yes.
When the money was available and we took...
So we were just recklessly spending. And that's what I'm saying, that fiscal consolidation and debt management. Look, you can't inherit 120 billion and took it to 761 billion. How does it? What the 13th president we've had since Kwame Nkrumah, President Akufo-Addo borrowed higher than them by 6 times. Why? Did Ghana just cease to exist after 8 years? No. So we must enforce the strict compliance with the Public Financial Management Act in terms of borrowing. I think that government should always prioritize publishing the annual debt reports, making it available and accessible to every stakeholder in this country. We must be careful on debt sustainability, which is key. It's a key requirement of the IMF program currently. Have you seen that since Dr. Tuforsen came, he hasn't gone out to borrow externally? He hasn't. In fact, currently the best he's doing now is debt restructuring, completion of debt restructuring, and people started. Our own debt hasn't come. Now, because of the ballooning debt MPP took domestically, and that's why we say that it's not good to borrow domestically. You know why? You crowd out the business sector or the private sector, because loanable funds should be made available to the private sector to expand our economy. Because it is the private sector that will expand jobs, that will diversify the economy. Government cannot produce sanitary pads themselves. If loanable funds are available by a commercial bank, they give it to private sector and they will diversify the economy for you. However, when you are saying borrowing directly into the loanable market, what it simply means that because private sector, there are risks associated with borrowing to them, whether they will pay or not. Government is a sure lender or borrower. So you believe they will pay. Is that not it? So every investor will want to loan their money to the government. When you do that, you crowd out the private sector. And that's what we saw at the MPP. And that's how come manufacturing grew by negative 2.2%, because there was no production in the manufacturing sector, there was no access to credit. So what the government currently, and what is biting us now, as a result of the poor decision they took, is that every week, Thursday, Dr. Atufosun goes to the auction market and borrows 6 billion to pay for maturing debt, short-term debt, through T-bills. That is the effect of borrowing locally.
So at this point, he has no choice.
He has no choice, because when your debt matures, you have to borrow. So we do on lending. So I go back, dig hole and cover hole. Do you understand?
Yes.
So the net effect is 0. Net effect, you've not borrowed, because you are borrowing again for future to settle borrowing that is accruing now. Dig hole, cover hole.
And that's what you do until you're able
to solve the problem.
So at what point in time would you be in a situation to say, okay, now we can avoid the dig hole, cover hole?
So first of all, when we are completely exhausted with the extended restructuring that we are currently doing, it frees up the space for you to better negotiate on concessional loans. It attracts more investors into your country through GIPC, so that they expand the economy to increase your tax revenue. Look, if we do not increase tax revenue, if we don't bring tax reforms, not taxes, I say tax revenue. Because look, people don't know that when you expand your economy, naturally tax income comes. So currently, they are talking about gold refinery. It will bring some market. Agriculture through the Feed Ghana and all those things will increase expenditure in the market. So you expand the economy naturally, tax income will increase. Until that point, governance or budget or whatever is just simple expenditure and your revenue. How do you manage them? So one, we must continue with the expenditure rationalization I talked about and reform our revenue measures. There's a literature that always says expand tax base, expand tax base. People say, where do you want to expand? No, when they say expand, it means you must create economic activities that are taxable.
So you now have to create.
We have to create. And the 24-hour market that we are talking about can drive that demand. There was no mobile phone in the past. When mobile phone has come, it has created additional revenue to government through corporate taxes on them.
Okay.
So we have what we call induced demand. You create demand so that government get more resources from it, not necessarily overburdening the already existing taxpayer.
Okay.
We have what we call Laffer curve. When you tax citizens to a certain point, they reach their level, they will not hear.
So where in your manifesto, let's say, of the plans that the NDC have, are you seeking to create that economic activity that will be taxable? Which policies will be used to create that?
So, for example, if you look at the 24-hour goal, it comes with four key priority areas.
Okay.
One has to do with the financing arrangement.
Okay.
There's a company in Botiano English. Mm-hmm. They have capacity to supply 12 million sanitary pads a year.
Okay.
Currently, they are underproducing by just 1 million.
Okay.
Annual demand for sanitary pads in Ghana is 9 million to 12 million.
Okay.
What it simply means is that if government finds financing arrangement to this company, the company can supply our local market without necessarily spending foreign exchange to bring goods.
Okay.
That's one way of creating. So financing will drive new innovations. When we know that financing is available for businesses to thrive, it creates innovations. It drives change. It brings out emerging ideas. You get the point?
Yeah.
Now, apart from the financing arrangement that they are trying to put on, in fact, even complementing the 24-hour financing model, that's where we are even getting the fintech fund.
Okay.
I don't understand why Uber, Bolt, none is Ghanaian, but we pay a lot through that.
Mm.
Why can't we have our local one? Now, security is a major concern. In Tamale, in the evening, I can tell you, come to Tamale in the night and see how beautiful it is at the center of Tamale.
Yeah, I've been there.
People don't sleep.
Yeah.
So that naturally has created a demand. Because when people are there and there's enough security to protect investments, that night market that you see over there will generate additional spending. And when it generates additional spending, you get more tax revenue from that.
Okay.
Then, government must also diversify our thoughts. In a sense that...
Diversify thoughts?
Thoughts! In a sense that, yes, we must think broad. We shouldn't think of only raw material exporting countries.
Okay.
And that's why I must commend Sami Jemfi for trying even to establish a gold refinery in this country.
Yeah, because I see gold boy jewelry.
Do you get the point? Yeah. So, how do we take advantage of the potential we have? If you look at Porter's model on diversification, they will tell, look, every country has been able to diversify looking at their own competitive advantage. Ghana's cocoa is one of the best, only distracted recently by Galamsey. So, why don't we leverage our own cocoa and producing beverages and exporting chocolates? So, Michael Porter will tell you that what giant economics did in the past was to leverage on their own competitive advantage. No country is similar. Every country is unique. There is something unique you can sell. In Philippines, they export nurses. In Cuba, they export doctors. What do we export? We will export the raw cocoa beans, then they will manufacture the chocolate and bring to us. There's a cartel in the import market too that we must diversify.
A cartel?
Yes.
Import. Okay.
Look, some sectors, rice and some other staples, importers, there are big cartels that pays heavily to every government to stop people from reducing importation.
Oh.
Yes. Because as we speak, in the northern region, we have a lot of rice farmers who have rice but no market for it.
A lot of rice farmers.
Currently, people have plenty of rice bags in their homes.
Rice that compete with the brands that are imported into the market into Ghana?
Naturally, acquired taste. If you study demand, they will tell you that demand is also influenced by taste and preferences.
Okay.
Ghanaians have acquired foreign taste, and because of that, they will prefer to eat perfume rice. Now, when there is demand for perfume rice and there is availability of that perfume rice, nobody will look local.
But those who also say it's also a matter of price.
no, cost of production is high in Ghana. So you deal with the cost of production.
Okay.
Fertilizer was expensive. Now it's coming down. In fact, at the MPP, it was almost 550 Ghana cedis. Now fertilizer, some are traded at 300 in Ghana, 350 Ghana cedis. So the cost of production will naturally fall.
Okay.
In some instances, too, an acre of land and the NDC was about 20 cedis. Now it's about 200 Ghana cedis. That will increase your cost of production. Okay. So government, through the farm service centers that we want to establish, must prioritize in reducing the cost of fertilizer. And I'm happy, Agriculture Minister said they are trying to establish a fertilizer plant. It is unimaginable, unconscionable for agriculture sector to be the bane of this country or the anchor development of this country, yet we don't have a fertilizer plant, which is an integral part of the value chain in the agri sector. Is that not it?
Yeah.
So what it means is that government must reduce cost of production of the local goods.
Mm-hmm.
Nasia rice, a top brand, but people will go for perfume rice. It's acquired taste. Create the demand for the ban temporarily importation of rice. It will generate into local demand. And when people start eating the local demand, they acquire the local taste. That's simple. I know people who said they cannot use any other phone apart from iPhone. Then you get them Huawei. You know the recent Huawei phone. Then they forget iPhone. That's what we call acquired taste.
Okay.
You develop taste and you can always change taste. So government must create that environment for the private sector to produce what Ghanaians need. And as we speak, we have enough rice that we've cultivated in this country that can feed Ghanaians. Yet there's influx of perfume rice at competitive prices. And that in fact, I spoke with a sister station when President Mahama announced the zero tariff regime between us and China. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
I was telling somebody that we must not rejoice like that. Because when you have a zero tariff between two countries, what survive those countries are their local production costs. Chinese goods are cheaper in countries because the production over there is cheaper.
Okay.
So when it's cheaper and your production cost is higher, when they enter into a competitive market, Ghanaian groups never trade. So until we deal with the real problem of cost production, we will never go far. So I think that diversifying the economy is high, fiscal consolidation. In fact, I'll say the tax reforms. COVID-19 levy. I think we've removed a lot of levies. COVID-19 is expected to be removed through this budget.
Yeah.
And people say it will affect revenue. But what they don't understand is that somebody may just not buy something because he thinks he will pay for COVID levy.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I know people who don't do mobile money because they were angry about
you don't want to pay the
e-levy. Meanwhile, what he will spend to go to and give the money is higher, but he is not happy. So the COVID levy is a concern, and the finance minister is working on it. And then finally, what we should continue doing after the IMF program is we must be able to tame our inflation and currency depreciation.
Tame inflation.
Yeah. Currently, we're already
they seem to be doing very well.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. We must continue because it guarantees real value of money. Okay. People lose time. In fact, people lose money. When you have 100 cedi, somebody told me that he used to buy rice at 600. Now he used to sell rice at 600. Now he's selling it at 400 or 300. And I say, you don't understand. When you were selling at 600, what was the inflation? So if you know the inflation, it will reduce your nominal value of money. If it is lower now, inflation is lower, it increases your real value. So because of that, we must continue to make sure that we have actions that will sustain the inflation. Okay. The exchange rate, I told that gold is not enough. We must continue to make sure that we prioritize other key sectors that will guarantee and generate more forex. Look, do you know why the Cedi slumped small?
No.
To about 13. Okay. You know why?
What happened?
It was as a result of remittances. Why remittances? People who were abroad and sending us money. You remember when the city was going down, they were not happy.
Yeah, they complained.
So they were not sending.
So remittances went down naturally.
Naturally. It wasn't Dr. Atufor's problem. Because I was in London, then somebody came to me complaining that he doesn't know how much to send again because the money, those days when they send 1,000 this and they get this amount and it can sustain their family for this now. Now look at what has happened. They will wait. So that wait syndrome naturally affected the dollar, the cedi to the dollar.
Okay.
So remittances, yes, is performing well, but we must not even anchor our reserve towards remittances.
Okay.
Because you don't control that. You get the point? So that's what I will say about what we should do post the IMF, because credibility will come. It's a new phase for industrial revolution. Because when it comes, President Mahama wants to position this country on the path of growth and prosperity. Human beings, that is per capita of people, must also seem to be improved.
Okay.
It is not enough to churn out these global numbers. We must be able to narrow it down
to the lives of
people. And we normally use incidence of poverty to determine that how many people are within the poverty bracket. In the MPP administration, in the last year of the administration, close to 2.5 million, according to the multi-poverty dimension report, said they were below. They couldn't afford $3 a day. They couldn't spend $3 a day. 2.5 million. What is the total workforce of this country? Unemployment was about 14.7%. Now it's around 11. Despite that, it's still high. I know countries with inflation of, in Africa, inflation of less than 4%. I know countries like that. Interest rate less than 10%. I know countries like that.
In Africa?
Yes, in Africa.
That's impressive.
Finance minister knows that. Currently, Ghana, yes, we've seen some reduction in our reference rate and policy rates, but I think that we are still high in terms of cost of borrowing. Because look, if you want to do an investment and the cost of capital is 29%, meanwhile, in China, in South Africa, cost of capital is 7%. Where would you think your investment destination will be? So the cost of borrowing also influences investment destinations. That is why, this business community, that's why there's something called Eurobond market. That's a great place for people to trade. So when they look at the matrices in your country, your legal regime, your regulatory framework, and other macro figures, then they will now choose which investment destination they should pursue. And that's how come you see Benin, Togo. In fact, Togo, the recent investment they are getting, the aviation industry and all those things, is a result of those numbers. So I think that Dr. Atufosin is quite aware of the difficulties that we may encounter post the IMF program. We should let this be the last. We can't continue this way. And another time they will say 18th time, 19th time. No.
We'll keep counting.
We must do something.
Well, we have to bring this to a close. No. And first, I would like to secure your agreement to come here after the budget is read.
Yes.
So that we can discuss the content of the budget. Yes. So we'll make time and do that. But before that, there's a proposal that we should do notes of, I don't think whether it's commemorative notes of 500 and 1,000 Ghana cedis to mark 60 years of the cedi. What do you think?
Look, I think that I won't be against 500 cedis.
Why? That's it.
You see,
that will have an impact, wouldn't it?
You see, features of money say it must be convenient. In fact, the purpose of redenomination, that something we backed, though at that time politically we had to argue out. Currency must be convenient, must be economical, and must be efficient. When you hold 10,000 Ghana cedis, we have the 200 to be 50, right? Imagine if it is 500. It makes it easy for handling. Do you get a point? So the only disadvantage will always increase in values of rates is because, for example, because of this redenomination exercise, if you are holding the 1 cedi coin, it's as worthless.
Even that one is better. So if you go to 20 pesos, 50 pesos,
those ones, you hardly don't see it. So meanwhile, it's supposed to be a medium of exchange, but you can take it somewhere to buy something and the person will not take it. So if you increase it more, the base suffers. If the highest
affects the prices,
that's what I'm saying. That if the price, look, those days I was growing up, if your mother says you should go and keep 1 million in her room. 1 million is 1 million. People will escort you there. But today it's 100 cedis.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that the values are the same. Those days, if we were still using the old currency, pure water could never have been sold at these prices to sell it.
Yeah.
Go to Rwanda. I went to Rwanda and I changed $500. It couldn't enter 2 of my packets. It was heavy and loaded. Oh, I still have it in my bag. Plenty. And I said, why? $500? So I realized that when I went to the hotel, food was 2,000, 3,000 of their currency. And I could just pick only 3 pieces. And I asked my, for the next 5 days, if I buy this, I still bought. And when I was going to the airport and we converted the amount, I still spent less than $180.
In Rwanda?
In Rwanda, Kigali.
When you anticipated that you're going to spend close to 500?
More than that, because 500, I just changed. I didn't know, I didn't have any expectation. But I spent 5 days in Rwanda and I spent less than $180. And I brought a lot of the money back. It's in my bag as we speak.
I see.
So I realized that sometimes okay, Nigeria, Naira. If you convert Ghana cedi to Naira, you would think that they are cheating them.
Yeah.
If you bring it to Ghana, your Naira is worthless. Do you know that? Because I went to Abuja, 1,000 Ghana cedis. I changed 40,000 Naira.
Okay.
But in Ghana, I will call it 1,000. In Nigeria, 40,000. The real value of the 40,000 is better than our 1,000 in Ghana here. Big Brother Nigeria. Have you been watching it?
Yes.
Have you seen it before? They said the owner will take 100 million Naira.
Yeah.
And inside the $100 million is a vehicle. Inside the 100 million is a house. And a cash amount of 40 to 50 million Naira inside the 100 million. 100 million, when we converted it, it was less than 2 million Ghana cedis. Are you saying that 2 million Ghana cedis can buy you a house, can buy you a car, and also you still have 50 million Naira inside? So the 100 million, that's why people voted there. But Ghana, their 100 million Naira is a peanut here. So that is why we must make our currency strong. And I don't have a problem with them increasing, but we must not lose essence of our lower note. Because once you diminishes it, it naturally drives prices up so that they don't fall in that bracket. If I know the 1 cedi is no more relevant and I introduce 2 cedi, 5 cedi, half 500, goods naturally that should have been 1 cedi will rise up to 2 cedi.
Yeah. That's what has happened in our market.
Dagbani, I'm a Dagomba from Sagnarigu. We do Damba Festival and all those things. You know the drummers.
Yeah.
And the Akufo-Addo. 5 cedi was there. 2 cedi no 7 was not there. If you remember.
Yes.
There was no 2 cedi no. There was no 1 cedi. 5 cedi. The drummers, they were happy. Now, if you take 500 cedi, 1 bundle is 500.
Yeah.
Now, if you take 1 cedi bundle is 100. So when we were doing the 2024, you could share 5 cedi and they will know it's big. Now, they've introduced a 1 cedi. If you are giving them the 1 cedi, they are not. They will go somewhere, and because you waste that 100 cedi you give them, you do it now, they will miss a lot. So it means that they themselves are not happy with the lower currency. So that's something that when you diminishes the value of your lower currency, it drives prices up naturally. So those calling for 500, I don't have a problem, but we must make sure that we also increase the lower base. For example, the 2 cedi should be available.
Okay.
Have you observed that it's not really available?
It's not available, yeah.
Do you get it? We must introduce it. I don't have a problem if we even remove the coins, really, because the what's the name? The paper, the polymer is better off than the coins. Because sometimes, ask average Ghanaian, the number of people who don't know the coin, they are limited. Sometimes I pick I don't know whether it's 1 cedi or something, the coins. So we must make sure that the currency is
strong,
convenient also.
Okay.
I don't want us to go back to the 10,000, but I'm saying that we must make the lower base stronger so that people can use it as a value of exchange. Yeah.
Thank you as always. Thank you as always, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
He's a member of parliament for Sagnarigu, joining us in the studio. His name is Atta Issah. one of the new faces in Parliament. They are learning. They have to learn very, very fast. Yes, in the hard way. Well, we are back Monday with other editions of the Good Morning Conversation. Enjoy.